Proverbs chapter 6 in the King James Version. My son, if thou be surety for thy friend, if thou hast stricken thy hand with a stranger, thou art snared with the words of thy mouth, thou art taken with the words of thy mouth. Do this now, my son, and deliver thyself. When thou art come into the hand of thy friend, go, humble thyself, and make sure thy friend. Give not sleep to thine eyes, nor slumber to thine eyelids. Deliver thyself as a roe from the hand of the hunter, and as a bird from the hand of the fowler. Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Consider her ways, and be wise, which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer, and gathereth her food in the harvest. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty come as one that travaileth, and thy want as an armed man. A naughty person, a wicked man, walketh with a froward mouth. He winketh with his eyes, he speaketh with his feet, he teacheth with his fingers. Frowardness is in his heart. He deviseth mischief continually. He soweth discord. Therefore shall his calamity come suddenly. Suddenly shall he be broken without remedy. These 6 things doth the Lord hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, and heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. My son, keep thy father's commandment, and forsake not the law of thy mother. Bind them continually upon thine heart, and tie them about thy neck. When thou goest, it shall lead thee. When thou sleepest, it shall keep thee. And when thou awakest, it shall talk with thee. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. To keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. Lust not after her beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. For by means of a whorish woman a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. Can a man take fire in his bosom, and his clothes not be burned? Can one go upon hot coals, and his feet not be burned? So he that goeth in to his neighbor's wife, whosoever toucheth her shall not be innocent. Men do not despise a thief if he steal to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. But if he be found, he shall restore 7-fold. He shall give all the substance of his house. But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. A wound and dishonor shall beget, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. For jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. He will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though thou givest many gifts. Man, Solomon is just so wise. And we're with the books of Solomon, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon. So we will be, or Song of Songs. And so we will be with Solomon and his wisdom for the next 2 books to follow, as well as this one. And there's a lot here, sermon upon sermon. Listen to this, though, because there's a lot. There's a lot in here. And this is one thing that was said throughout here. And that starts in verse 16. These 6 things doth the Lord hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. Now, before we bring past to present and before we continue on with those 7 are mentioned in here, some people in some cases may believe that these are abominations in not only religious aspects, but in teachings and other teachings. So, there's within Christianity alone, there's all kinds of different denominations and sects, right? Different branches, etc. Some believe that, and again, not a Bible scholar, but some Bible scholars, theologians, etc., will believe and teachings say that there are things that, such as sins, that may bring the Lord's attention or to act upon maybe sooner or quicker or not allowed for a extended period of time. From what I gather, when I read these are definite things that are sinful but bear a lot of fruit, a lot of evil fruit. So you have the good tree, you have a representation of the good tree and the good fruit from the Spirit, and then you have the bad tree and the bad fruit from the bad spirit. And so that's how I look at it. However, I can understand someone believing that it may cause a reaction sooner, such as if someone is led astray or if someone is, that consequences may come sooner rather than later. However, that's not necessarily 100% of the time the case. So fair warning, follow the guidance of the Holy Spirit. What the Holy Spirit is trying to guide you in your life and the meaning and purpose of these words to you. So always follow the Holy Spirit. People can tell you what have you, but if it's not from the Holy Spirit, it is just that, vain. Okay, so let's continue on. Verse 17, a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. A proud look, so someone being haughty, somebody being proud, arrogant, etc. A lying tongue, lies upon lies upon lies, so much so that that they speak the lies as if they're truth. Sound familiar? Bear with me, I'm a little sinuses. And hands that shed innocent blood. Hands that shed innocent blood. Some people will read this and immediately think of shedding innocent blood of all the way to mortality. But again, harming someone who is innocent is the same. Sin is sin. There is no level to it. Even though we as man, community, have different levels of punishment, when it comes to sin, all sin is the same. The wages of sin equals death, as it says in Romans. And we'll get to that when we get to the New Testament. So again, sin is the same. So just another point to look at. Verse 18, in a heart that deviseth wicked imaginations. Oh yeah, yes. We tend to predetermine things. We tend to write scripts for other people. We've talked about that in previous Bible study, how much so that it's people will write scripts for other people in their mind to control even reactions. Sometimes you will hear things, maybe you've said it, guilty as charged. I know I've said it before. I don't typically say it. You may be something as long as quote, don't be mad at me, but I'm just the messenger. Or I know you're going to think that this is a certain way, and don't be angry or don't be jealous or don't be too happy. You're predetermining a reaction, and you're telling someone a reaction before the words come out, even the wisdom even comes out. But yes, we deviseth wicked imaginations. Absolutely. That's part of revenge too. Seeing a conclusion of getting back at someone. So that's another way of thinking about this without the thought process of you were harmed or you were hurt or whatever to you. So now you have to get back. Those thoughts of revenge and how to do it are wicked imaginations. They haven't came to fruition, but because we've took off the armor of God, we've allowed sin to come in, and including even the devil to come in and say, hey, there's many of opportunity. Ooh, wouldn't it be nice for you to see them fall in a hole? Ooh, wouldn't it be nice if they just, got nudged a little bit and they just went off in front of everybody and made a fool of themselves? Ooh, hey, wouldn't it be nice to, instead of understanding that they have already done something that the Lord has seen, if it's against you, and that the Lord has seen, which is not good. And what does the Lord say? Vengeance is mine. There are so many times where you may feel like you just won't be satisfied unless you see something happen to that person without even knowing that that person might be going through or is going through something that is horrific. It's bad. It is really bad. There are many times in my life where things have happened to me. I've been confronted, you name it, and been called all kinds of names and such, but come to find out, not reacting to that, right? Not reacting to that. Not only does it show that in terms of it's not getting to you, it may be, but you're not allowing a negative reaction, a reaction that is just as sinful back, or even a little. You're hearing the argument, you applying the fruits of the Spirit as best you can, and it's of course it's going to be difficult. But then a revelation could happen from that. Sometimes you don't get the revelation, but sometimes you will. Sometimes you will find out that there is something going on. And a lot of times it is something that maybe you have been through or you haven't been through. That term comes back up, like hurt people, right? So understand that the Lord is always in control and the Lord goes out to bat for you. And so even though you may think that none of this comes to fruition, like as in there's nothing going to happen to the wicked, that is not true. Not true at all. And we'll get to more of that when we get to Revelation. Continuing on though, feet that be swift and running to mischief. All the time. What does peer pressure look like? If so-and-so's doing it, I'm going to do it too. I've heard that line many a time. I've witnessed things like that. Have you witnessed things like that? Where, for instance, one person does it, so the next person has to do it? Even as simple as an observation, right? I'll give you a little quick story with this one too. People do go Halloween, they go trick-or-treating, right? And they go and they collect their candies, etc. Some people do not do it. Some people do. An observation, bowl of candy out. A parent brings their child and the sign says 1 to 2 pieces, right? However, you're going to have a parent or a child, either one, come and the child's going to grab a handful, right? Or the parent's going to tell them to grab the handful. And instead of correction, instead of what you may think needs to happen, some people don't. Some people are like, that's just a child. Remember, there's all kinds of different opinions with that. Okay? Then a person behind them or a person in the same line may think, well, hey, either that kid thinks it or the parent. Well, they started something, so us too, or my kid too, or the kid's gonna do the same thing. Grab the whole handful. Why? Is it due to they're just being a kid? Inconsistent innocency? Ignorance? Purposely malicious? So there are things in here that we can look at that are easy to bring past to present in different ways, that can be looked at in some ways as things that you can not think of are examples, but are examples. Continuing on, lastly, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. A false witness that speaketh lies, again, a lying tongue, speaking lies purposefully, facetiously, or trying to do it for their own gain or good. And he that soweth discord among brethren. Lies can also be spoken among brethren. And discord amongst each other. If I get this person to not like this person, then I won't have to deal with this person. I can only deal with who I believe I can deal with, which is this person, and they can truly be my friend. Don't act like there hasn't been self-manipulation in certain instances in your life. You come across people, including in groups, where you know that there were what you considered in your mind as outliers. And what better way to have them feel outlied by them just not either being there anymore or understanding that they are an outlier. Which is that the fruits of the Spirit? Really? What is it that caused that? Is there impatientness, or you're just not in the same path on your journey of life, or you just a characteristic issue where there's two different conflicts of character? What is it? If we're supposed to love the Lord with all our heart, all our soul, all our mind, all our strength, and then love our neighbor as ourselves, how is that loving our neighbor as ourselves if all you see is the flaws? In those instances, we may have to hold up a mirror to ourselves first. Before we go on, though, what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think?